Somehow, as human beings, we're wired to trust people, especially when they look like they've lived through 5 economic collapses and 2 world wars. I don't know what it is, but the moment someone looks like they got grandpa wisdom and a deep voice, we just assume they know something. And let me tell you, that's dangerous, because sometimes they're confidently spewing absolute bullshit. But hey, put that bullshit in a British accent, and suddenly people are like, wow, this guy must know what he's talking about. Okay, so recently I watched this video by a guy named Mark Tilbury. You've probably seen him. He's all over YouTube. He's mostly like if Warren Buffett got sponsored by Shopify and started filming YouTube videos in front of Ferraris. He's a self-proclaimed millionaire, and according to YouTube, he's got more than 5 million people who believe in his wisdom, or at least his thumbnails. Now, the video is titled How to Actually Make Money Online. No BS guide, which is ironic because the second someone says no BS, you know the BS is coming. Now, we're gonna skip the intro of the video because, trust me, you're not missing anything. It's the usual inspirational sob story. I was a millionaire by 28, the internet ruined everything, but then I rose from the ashes like a digital phoenix and made millions again. You heard this before a million times. It's the classic rags to riches pipeline that every guru uses to get your attention. It's like emotional clickbait, actually, yeah. Anyway, Gandalf the grey-haired money wizard says he's going to walk us through something called the online wealth wheel. It has 3 stages and the mysterious 4th that you gotta stick around for because of course it does. Now let's break it down and see if it's actually useful or just another recycled sales funnel wrapped in father figure energy. So let's roll. Okay, so I have my laptop here and we're gonna start with stage 1 of Mark's wealth wheel. So let's hear what he has to say.
Let's kick things off with stage 1. This is where everyone starts with no side hustle. And sadly, 55% of people never start at all. Inflation.
Well, I guess they don't, but I don't know where he gets this number, 55%. Please, Mark, if you're watching this video, tell us where did you get the number of 55% people that don't start a side hustle. But there are a couple of reasons people don't start a side hustle. And it's not that they don't want to. Maybe they don't just have the bandwidth to start another side hustle. Maybe they have their jobs, 9 to 5s, family, other stuff that they have in life, so they're not able to start a side hustle. But let's see what Mark has to say next.
Is making everything more expensive. And let's be real, relying on a single paycheck is more dangerous than ever. So if having a side hustle is essential, why do 55% of people still avoid it? Because the online...
Yeah, Mark, they don't avoid it. Maybe some percentage just can't start a side hustle, but let's see.
Space is a jungle. It's full of ads pushing proven methods that confuse more people than they actually help. The key to starting the right way is picking a method that suits your skills, budget and lifestyle. If you already have...
Yeah, internet is a jungle and there are a lot of people pushing ads with proven methods, courses that will make you a millionaire overnight and everything else. And he mentions skills. And yeah, let me tell you a story. My main income source is still skill-based and it's service-based business. So that was my side hustle when I worked in a bank years ago. And at the moment that income from that service-based business 10x'd my bank salary, then I decided it's time to move on. So, but let's see what this guy has to say.
A skill like video editing, graphic design, coding, or even setting up Discord servers. People pay great money for these services and there's no shortage of demand.
Yeah, having a skill is great. But let me tell you something. Learning that skill won't happen overnight. It won't even happen if you watch like 3 YouTube videos. You won't learn anything. So you need to have a bit more long-term approach to skill learning and owning that skill. And if you ask me, I'm all for learning new skills, especially high-income in-demand skills. And not just one. It's always good to know some other skills. You don't have to be an expert in them, but keep them somewhere around here. Eventually it's gonna pay off. Let's continue.
But what if you don't have a skill to sell? Or quite simply don't want to deal with clients.
If you don't have a skill to sell, learn some skill. You're gonna need that skill. Whatever business you start, especially if it's in a digital space, and if you learn a skill that is connected to digital space, you're gonna have an easier time.
That's where product-based businesses come in. One of the best options is selling products online without ever holding inventory.
And now we have it. Product-based business and selling products online without ever holding an inventory. Something smells like dropshipping here, but let's continue.
Yourself. But I'll get into this in more detail later on. That brings me on to running a failing side hustle.
Okay, so we're now in a stage 2, and Mark is telling us about running a failing side hustle without ever explaining why actually people don't start a side hustle, and without actually giving any guidance on how to acquire new skills or how to even start something meaningful.
I'm classing a failing side hustle as earning less than $50 per month online.
Earning less than $500 per month online is a failing side hustle. With $50, and even if you're earning $100 online, you can't do anything, yet alone build a business from that.
Sadly, 28% of people are trapped here. A lot of people aren't going to.
Again, how do you know that 28% people are trapped in running a failing side hustle? Where did you get these numbers, man? Let's move on.
Like me saying this, but it has to be said. It's almost never your side hustle that's flawed or doesn't work. You're most likely just not putting enough time and effort in. I know that can be hard.
Okay, so it's not just the side hustle and not just time and effort. If you put enough time and effort in a good business model, you're gonna succeed. You're probably not gonna be a millionaire or billionaire, but your effort is gonna show some results. But what we have here is, in this jungle of internet, is people selling courses and bulletproof methods on flawed business models, like drop shipping the way they sell it, like China drop shipping, print on demand, Amazon FBA. They're all good business models if you learn them correctly and if you apply them correctly. But if you apply them in a way they're being sold in a bunch of courses online that you see on ads, on Facebook ads, on wherever, on YouTube, it's a failing side hustle and you're gonna be trapped in this. So yeah, people do get trapped. I don't know if it's 28%, but sorry, Mark, it's not about people and not putting enough effort. There's something about bad business models that people like you and everybody else is selling online.
Hard to hear, but this isn't really your fault. It's down to something called shiny object syndrome. This is when you constantly jump from one trendy online money-making method to another without committing and putting your absolute all into any of them.
Okay, shiny object syndrome is real, and people tend to be attracted to some better, shinier things. So you might find someone jumping from drop shipping to print on demand to Amazon FBA to selling digital products and so on. But people often jump from one model to another, not because they're attracted by those shiny objects, but because these business models that they learn in courses are absolute shit. And then they buy a dropshipping course, they start that dropshipping that guru taught them, and they see it's shit, then they're gonna jump to another thing and another thing and another thing, and eventually what's gonna happen? They're gonna be without money and still working 9 to 5. Let's move on.
Week it's drop shipping, then print on demand, then selling books on Amazon KDP, then trading stocks, and then starting a social media agency. The truth is, all the online money-making methods I just mentioned work, but each requires a different level of time commitment, and you'll never get anywhere by jumping from one to the other. It's like that.
It's not just time commitment. It's a proper approach. So you can run a dropshipping, and I talked about that in some of my previous videos. So you can run a dropshipping business, but not in a way they are teaching you. So dropshipping, where you dropship some products from China or some AliExpress suppliers, is not going to work because 10,000 other people are doing the same shit. And yeah, dropshipping is a business model, and a lot of big retailers like Walmart, some appliance retailers are using dropshipping simply because they don't want to hold expensive items in their warehouses. But that's completely different model from what is being promoted and what are you being taught. Let's move on.
Classic diagram of miners tirelessly digging for gold, only to give up just before striking it rich. Instead of pushing through, they abandon their progress, start fresh somewhere else, and waste all that initial effort repeating the cycle over and over again.
So why would I continue with a failing business model? Why would I, if I don't see any viable result from China dropshipping or whatever, why would I continue to put my time and effort and my money into something that's not gonna succeed ever? Sorry, Mark, but sometimes you just gotta test the model, see if it's gonna work, and if it doesn't work, refine or drop it completely and start something new. Let's move on.
If you get stuck in this dangerous pattern like the 28% of other people, then you need to recognize it and simply pick a method and stick to it. Forget the idea of a perfect side hustle. Just pick one that's easy to start and has the potential to scale.
Okay, there is no perfect side hustle, and he's right. My business started as a side hustle, and although it's a good model, it brings food to the table, it supports my family, it supports me, it supports our lifestyle, which is okay, which is good. We don't have to worry about prices, we don't have to worry about bills, we have nice cars, some real estate and so on. But there's no magic and there's no bling in any side hustle. So if somebody is trying to sell you a dream, and if somebody is trying to convince you that you just set this model up and the money is going to flow into your bank account, they're completely lying, because you have to work really hard to achieve something. Even if it seems really easy, it's not. So it's hours and hours of work, learning, and repeating the same stuff all over again. Let's move on.
If you don't have a high income skill to sell, then I'm going to make this super simple for you.
If you don't have a high income skill to sell, I suggest you start learning some skills. But let's see what Mark has to say and what Mark has to offer.
In all my years of experience, the thing that has made me the most amount of money online is e-commerce. So I recommend you focus on that, but not in the way most people do.
Okay, e-commerce set in a proper way can bring you a lot of money, but that requires market research, marketing skills, business mindset, good idea, good product. It requires a lot. So don't get fooled thinking that you can set up e-commerce store overnight and be rich next week. I'm curious to see what our good old fellow Mark has to say right now.
A lot of beginners assume starting an online store means dealing with inventory, suppliers, or complex setups, but that's not the case anymore. That's because you can now utilize AI-built Shopify stores. Instead of spending weeks setting everything up like I had to back in the day, you can now use a free tool called buildyourstore.ai to look.
Okay, exactly what I was talking about. You can set up your store in 24 hours and be rich and be on this wealth wheel or whatever he calls it. So buildyourstore.ai is a cool website and good for them. They're making a lot of money. But what they build for you is a templated store with China-sourced products, with no effort and with no proper understanding of your audience. So yeah, you're gonna have a store in like 2 clicks or 2 minutes, whatever, but this is not a good start of a long-term successful business. But let's see.
Launch a fully automated store that would normally cost $200 to $300 to set up, but
If you want a good e-com store, it normally costs probably 10 times more than that.
This does it for free in a matter of minutes. You just enter your name and email, pick a niche like fashion, tech or pets, and the AI chooses winning products, designs your store, and makes it look professional from day one. If you want to go for
First of all, what he showed you here in this video is not professional at all. It's a simple store that uses simple theme, some AI-generated copy with a random product from China. Does that sound like something that has any future to you? Let's move on.
through this process completely for free, then just click the link in the description and it'll walk you through everything. From there,
just click the link in the description and I'm gonna make some affiliate money from you. That's why I created this video. Good job.
links directly with Shopify, giving you exclusive access to a 3-month Shopify trial for only $1 per month. But what about making sales? Well, the biggest mistake people make with e-commerce is giving up too soon. Surprise, surprise. This is probably because they don't want to deal with inventory or fulfillment. That's why the free AI Store Builder also walks you through how to integrate a tool called AutoDS, which is...
Okay, for sales you need to have a product. And that's true. So they're gonna give you AutoDS, what was like CJ dropshipping before or whatever. So they're all the same thing. They give you China sourced products. And this isn't a problem. Yeah, you need products, and if you choose to source it from China, which I don't recommend, create something unique, create a good product that has a story. But if you choose so, again, you're not getting sales because you don't have products. Even if you do have a product, you're not gonna get sales if you don't do proper marketing. But to do proper marketing, you need a proper market research. You need to know your audience. So that's one thing Mark didn't mention here. Like, you need marketing. And then we go back to skills, because marketing is a fucking skill. And again, he's selling you a drop shipping story here. Let's see. AutoDS looks cool. Yeah, I tested it.
Kind of like the autopilot system on a plane. It imports trending products, updates pricing and images, and even ships orders directly to your customers. This means
you don't have to do anything. Just connect these two things with Shopify and watch the money flow into your bank account. Yeah, I'm gonna be brutal here. I don't think Mark actually knows anything about e-commerce. He's just selling a bullshit story. So, but let's continue. I wanna see what else he has to say.
You don't have to touch inventory, package anything, or deal with supplier negotiations. You focus on driving traffic and making sales while the system handles the rest.
Yeah, you just drive the traffic. How are you going to drive the traffic? You never mention marketing here, which, like, marketing is an integral part of any e-com. And you never mention marketing, Mark. Although you're doing a very good marketing for AutoDS and Build My Store AI, but you're not mentioning marketing and how to actually drive a traffic to that website. So, yeah, I'm getting red in the face because of this, but it's fine.
Full disclosure, AutoDS are long-term supporters of this channel, but even if they weren't sponsoring this portion of the video, I'd still recommend them.
No, you wouldn't. Because if you knew anything about e-com and about this, you wouldn't support them. Instead, you would give real models and real advice how to build a successful e-com business.
Easily create a buzz around your products by creating videos about them on TikTok for free. If you get 100k views and just 1% of the people go and buy your product for $10, then that's $10,000 in revenue.
But what if the product is shit? What if that trendy product is being sold by 10k other people online? How are you gonna get through it? You don't have a unique product, you have a product that anyone can buy. And what if just somebody, and people are not stupid, find the same product on Amazon for $2? What if, Mark?
So if you're serious about breaking out of the failing side hustle trap, then choosing a simple automated model like this gives you the best chance at success. No more bouncing between business ideas, just commit, launch, and put in the work to scale it up. Let's
go to stage 3. I don't know if I will be able to watch this video till the end because my blood pressure is getting high.
3 is running a successful side hustle. Believe it or not, only 16% of people who start making money online ever make more than $50 per month.
Where's that study? Who actually showed that 16% of people, only 16% of people who start a side hustle make more than $50 a month? Who actually showed that, Mark? Please share that study with me. I want to read through it.
Month. The people in this percentile make anywhere from $51 on the low end all the way up to $10,000 a month. Of course, the higher end is what I'd consider.
All the way up to 10K. What if I told you that you can earn more just by owning one skill? Not 10K, more.
Are actually successful. So what are these 16% of people doing differently, and how can you start applying it to yourself? Well, there's some clear things that I've noticed that separate the people who struggle from those who actually make money online. And to help you get there, I'm going to break them down into 4 key steps that you can follow. Step 1 is to stop trying to appeal to everyone. You might think casting a wide net will get you more sales, but in reality, it does the opposite.
Yeah, this is completely true. So casting a wide net to appeal to everyone and to be available to everyone, yeah, it's gonna bring you some work, and probably it's good to apply that model at the beginning, but over time, as your experience grows and as the value that you're able to provide to your clients grow, you should start narrowing that circle, and you should start to be a bit more picky, because that's gonna bring your price up.
If you try to appeal to everyone, you'll appeal to no one. So before you even start promoting your store, grab a notepad or open your notes app.
Sorry, I was talking about skills and service-based business, and he's still promoting China-based dropshipping store. My God.
Describe your ideal customer. How old are they? What are their interests? What are their struggles? And what type of content do they consume? The clearer you are about this, the easier it becomes to create content that actually grabs their attention.
First, Mark, that's the initial research, and it's called market research. You need to know your targeted audience. You're not gonna find some products from China and then do this shit. You're first gonna do this shit, define the product that you wanna sell, define the audience, and then you're gonna find a good product if you wanna find a product, which I do not recommend to do it this way, but if you wanna do it either way, if you're stupid, then you're gonna find the product and build out the store according to desired audience. So if desired audience is Gen Z or younger people, which I'm not, then you're gonna design the way they like, then you're going to present the products the way they like and everything else. And that comes before picking the product.
Think of it like this. It's always easier to get one person's attention by speaking directly to them than it is to shout at a crowd and hope someone listens. Step 2.
Even if you're running a dropshipping store at the beginning, you're nothing without the data. So sorry, but if you're running, let's say, paid ads, you need to go a bit wider, because if you don't get the data, you won't know how to filter out the correct data, and you won't know how to target the right audience and the right behaviors if you don't have any data stream. So going really narrow at the beginning is not a good idea.
Is to stay consistent. Most people go all in for a few weeks, fueled by a burst of motivation, then vanish the moment they don't see instant results. The key is putting consistency over perfection. You don't need to...
I agree with this. So you need to be consistent, whatever you're doing, and not just business and side hustles. Even like if you're going to the gym and trying to lose weight, you need to be consistent. So small steps each day will produce big results. So don't go all in and get burned out. Be consistent, small steps, and you will see better results. So consistency is key, and I mentioned that a lot of times, but staying consistent is key. And don't overthink and consume yourself that everything has to be perfect. It doesn't.
Be working 12-hour days or waking up at 5 a.m. You just need small daily actions that keep your store in front of people. So
no. At the beginning, you're going to be working a lot if you want your business to succeed. Even if it's a service-based business or if it's an e-com store, whatever it is, you're going to spend more than 12 hours a day. if you're building something, it does require your full commitment. So small steps like 10-minute steps a day just won't cut it, especially if you're on a budget, and especially if you don't have any budget. Who's going to create the content for you? You are going to create the content because you can't pay anyone else. So don't expect to be done in 10 minutes each day, especially if you're expecting some big money. So no, it's not going to happen.
Here are some actionable things you should focus on every day. Post content about your products daily to stay visible and consistently appear in people's feeds.
Mark, out of all people, you should know how long does it take to create, edit, and post a good content. It's not 10 minutes.
Engage with comments and messages to build trust, strengthen relationships, and increase the likelihood of conversions. Test different product descriptions and images, since even small tweaks can significantly impact sales. Step 3 is...
Okay, yeah. And I just remember one thing. So yeah, this is all viable and this is all good, and I agree with him. You should test. But before, let's go a little back. When you're building your store, and he didn't mention this, like marketing is key, but retaining customers. A lot of times you will see customer come to your website, leave an email, and they don't do anything. And there needs to be a system for that. And that's called like retention, reactivation. And that's part of marketing as well. So please be focused on marketing. And it's not 10 minutes, it's way more.
The show, don't just tell. Most people's marketing strategies completely miss the mark, no pun intended. They just don't make it clear why someone should buy their product. For example, let's say you're selling custom gaming controllers. Just posting a gameplay clip with a link in the description isn't enough. People need a clear reason to buy. Instead of assuming they'll connect the dots themselves, you need to show and tell. Start by showcasing the controller up close, demonstrating how the extra buttons, or as you gamers know them, paddles and trigger stops, enhance.
Okay, so in most cases, people don't buy the product, people buy the experience. And when he says show the controller up close and everything else, yeah, you need to show people what experience are they gonna get with that product. In this case, like the game controller, you need to show them why is your game controller better than some others. And maybe it has like cooling or whatever, better vibration, or I don't know, I'm not a gamer, but you need to sell the experience. Hey, with my game controller, you're gonna play like you're in the game yourself, or something similar. But again, that's prone to testing. So it's not just one video. You need to test like multiple videos and see what works with your desired audience. Let's move on.
Gameplay. Explain the real benefits, like how these features help players react faster and gain an edge in competitive matches. Finally, compare it to a standard controller to highlight exactly why yours is better. If customers can't clearly see the product, understand why it's different, and immediately grasp how it benefits them, they won't buy it.
Customers need to feel the product. So again, always, if you're selling your service or a physical product, you need to sell the experience. Let's say, for example, in the service-based business, why are you gonna buy my services? Because I'm different than everybody else. Because I do things that most agencies don't do. And I left the agency because I don't want to put my customers through that experience. I want to provide them something better experience with the service they're buying. And that's also same for the physical products. Think of Mercedes. Why do you want to buy Mercedes? Or I don't know, I love BMW. So why do I want to buy BMW? Not because of the sound, but because of driving experience. I'm not going to buy Dacia or whatever. I'm going to buy BMW because of that driving experience. Why I don't like sport cars? Because I don't like the driving experience. Okay, I love speed, but it's uncomfortable. And BMW for me is like, it has blend of everything. So you're buying experience, and customers need to feel that.
It's as simple as that. Step 4 is to build trust with social proof. People need proof before they spend their money, especially when buying from a brand they've never heard of. Think about it for a second. Would you buy a fitness program that promises insane results but has 0 before and after photos and no testimonials? Probably not. If you're just starting out,
So if you're just starting, and you're new on the market and nobody left a review for your product, what are you gonna do for social proof? And nobody tells you this, but you're gonna pay for reviews, you're gonna pay for somebody to review your product. That's the social proof.
Your own product and record an unboxing video to show exactly what customers will receive. Even if you don't have sales yet, ask friends or family to test them out and leave honest reviews, as it's better to have some feedback than none at all. Finally,
or you can ask your friends and family, but for ordering your product, that's a must. Like if you're selling a physical product, you need to have the product, you need to create videos, photos for ads and everything else. So you need to order your product. But for social proof, good point. Ask your friends and family, or just buy and pay. But if you don't have any, budget for that, ask your friends and family. Same goes for service-based business. It took me a long time to build out that social proof. It took me a long time to build my portfolio, but it was on a real social proof, with real brands. Some of them are very big, and that's why now I'm really comfortable with my side hustle business.
showcase real people using your products instead of relying solely on stock photos. People have been burned by bad online purchases before. I mean, we've all seen those situations where the product is nothing like the picture.
Exactly. And that's what you get when you're drop shipping from China, especially if you don't order your product before. There are a lot of cases like now with this Temu, there are a lot of cases like you order bag and you get like a small tiny toy, and that is usually the case with dropshipping products. You see Apple-like quality on the website, and when you order a thing, it's complete garbage.
So make sure your customers know exactly what they're getting and why other people love it. Now,
and we're finally at stage 4, that secret stage. Let's see.
I told you that there was a secret stage at the end. Well, that's stage 4, running an elite side hustle. We've talked about breaking past the early struggles and building a solid side hustle, but this is the level that I estimate less than 1% of people ever reach. So
again, 1%. Not sure, but let's see what he means about running an elite side hustle.
What sets these 1% of people apart from the rest? One word: reinvesting. As soon as you start making money, put a small portion back into your side hustle. A lot of people think the goal of making money is to spend it on nice things, but the real power of money is using it to make even more money.
Yeah, that's true. When you start making money, reinvest a small portion into better systems, services, tools, everything that you need, because those are really helpful in scaling your side hustle and doing a better quality of output. I agree with Mark here completely.
I've talked before about investing in the stock market, but when you're just starting out, the best investment isn't stocks, it's your own business. Unlike stocks where you have to sit back and wait, you have full control over growing your own side hustle. So how do you reinvest in a way that actually helps you make more? Well, firstly, you focus on upgrading your tools.
One of the mistakes I made at the beginning when I was starting, I was still working in a bank. I used all free resources, so I didn't want to pay for anything. And eventually, when I started to grow, those free resources took more time, energy, and produced lower quality results. So I decided to start reinvesting. So a small portion of my income went to better tools, better resources, everything else. And you won't believe how better results and how much my business right now went up just with small investments, just because of small investments.
In the beginning, you might be doing everything manually, but once you start making sales, reinvesting in tools that save you time can help you scale. Secondly, you can put money into getting more customers. The people that make the most money online.
Exactly. If you're providing a service-based business, or if you're selling physical product like Mark is promoting here, not in a way that I agree with, you always need to pay for more customers or more leads. So nothing comes for free. And if you ever decide to start with something, be prepared that you would need to pay for new customers. Nothing is free.
don't just wait for people to come to them. They reinvest in marketing to bring in more traffic and sales. Whether that's paying for ads, testing new content ideas, or working with small influencers to get their store in front of the right audience. Thirdly, you can start to outsource.
Yeah, outsourcing, when you start making money, outsourcing is a great thing. Outsource for some manual work, outsource for example, graphic design, small marketing tasks, and everything else. That's a really good investment that saves you. In the end, it saves you a lot of money because it saves you a lot of time.
Instead of trying to do everything alone, the 1% reinvest in outsourcing small tasks. Now, if you're just getting started, this might sound like something you should worry about later, but that's exactly why most people never reach this level. This could be as simple as paying someone on Fiverr to design a better logo for you.
Yeah. So many times I had the opportunity, especially in the beginning, to expand on a service I was providing to my clients, and I just didn't know how to do it, and outsourcing was never a thing I considered in the beginning, and I stayed at the same level. And after a while, I figured that out, actually, and started outsourcing those tasks. And you wouldn't believe how much I was able to grow some services just by outsourcing small tasks. So outsourcing does help in scaling your business.
Store, or paying your friend to film some social media content for you. If you start thinking this way early on, knowing that your first profit should go back into growing your side hustle, you'll already be ahead of 99% of people who get stuck at these lower levels. If you're ambitious but lazy, I'm going to leave that video right up.
Okay, I guess this is the end of Mark's video. Yeah. In some ways, I do agree with Mark, like at core level. I do not agree with the dropshipping model that he's promoting and with the services that he's selling, because that's not going to lead you to a success. But if you want to try it, it's your thing. It's up to you. Where did he get those numbers? I don't know, but I think he made them up. But all in all, some of these things are just ways to keep your attention throughout the video, but here's my take on his advice. First, invest time into learning new skills and expanding your knowledge. Without that, you're nowhere. So invest time in learning marketing, sales, graphic design, whatever you want. Make sure they're, whatever resonates with you, just make sure they're high in demand, high income skills. I would always prefer to learn sales and marketing over everything else, because that can get you a long way. And then don't fall for the fake promises. Don't fall for quick models that promise big wealth overnight. It never works like that. Expect to grind, work, and sweat your ass off before you make anything meaningful. And yeah, that's basically it. So, do I agree with Mark? At core level, perhaps, but is this no bullshit guy how to make money online? No, this is like pure bullshit that's promoting basic drop shipping with basic advice. No, Mark. Sorry, I do respect your gray hair, but no. There's a lot of bullshit in this video. If you liked me babbling about his video, please subscribe. If you don't like this, don't subscribe, and I'm gonna see you probably in the next video or not. I don't know. Bye-bye.